The offense's main goal is to score and also win the game. For the past 2 years, KU football has seen incredible offenses. But how do they compare to other years? Well, why don't I show you with a rankings video. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockChalk01, and in this video, I'm going to be ranking KU's offenses from the past 20 years from worst to best based on scoring. Yeah, this should be pretty plain and simple. I went through each season for the past 20 years, so that would be from 2004 until 2023, because, well, the 2024 season hasn't happened yet. Went through all their point totals throughout their games for the season, added them up, and then divided it by how many games they played that season. And then I based my ranking off those numbers, and if there was a tie, then I went with their win-loss record as the better number. Also, as an added bonus, I kind of pinpointed two scores, which is their highest scoring game and their lowest scoring game of the season. So, yeah, that makes it kind of longer in length. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. But without further ado, here's the list.
Number 20, 2015. Ugh, I wish I could forget about this season, but it did in fact happen. And if you don't remember, this team went winless, going 0-12 that year. And their offense wasn't much better, as they put up an abysmal 15.25 points per contest. The most amount of points that KU put up this season was in the first game of the season against South Dakota State, where they put up 38. And the least amount of points was a big fat goose egg against West Virginia. Number 19, 2013. The win total went up from the previous season, as this team finished 3-9. However, the points per game total went down, as this team just averaged 15.33 points per game. The most amount of points this year was 31, and it happened twice, once against South Dakota and the other against West Virginia. And the least amount of points this year was another big fat goose egg. This time it happened against Iowa State. Number 18, 2020. Geez, this is also a season that we could forget, because this would be the second winless season in 6 years, as this team went 0-9. Also, the point total went down from the year prior, as this team averaged 15.78 points per game. The most points a KU team scored in a game was 23, and it happened twice. First against Coastal Carolina, and the last would be TCU. This time, the least amount of points would be an actual number instead of 0. This time it was 7 against Oklahoma State. Number 17, 2010. Man, this team had a huge drop off from the year prior, as they went from a 5-7 team all the way to a 3-9 team. And the offense was historically bad, as this team averaged 17.08 points a contest. The most points KU scored this season in a game was 52 points against Colorado in the biggest comeback in school history. The least amount of points that KU scored this year was 3, and it happened twice. First against North Dakota State, and the last one was against Nebraska. Number 16, 2014. Nothing changed when it came to the win-loss record from last year, as this team also went 3-9. However, the points per game total vastly improved from the year prior, as this team put up 17.83 points a contest. The most points KU put up this year was 34, and it happened twice. First against Southeast Missouri State, and the last one against Iowa State. The least amount of points this year was a big fat goose egg against Texas. Number 15, 2012. Eesh, this was a rough first year under Charlie Weis, as this team went 1-11. And the points per game total actually went down from the year prior, as this year the Jayhawks put up 18.25 points a contest. The most points KU put up this season was 34, and that was against Texas Tech. The least amount of points this year would be 6, and that would be against TCU. Number 14, 2017. This team was pretty bad too, as they actually decreased in wins from the year prior as well as points per game. This team went 1-11 this year, and averaged 18.67 points a contest. The most points KU put up this year would be 38, and that would be against Southeast Missouri State. The least amount of points this year would be a big fat goose egg, and it happened twice. First against Iowa State, and then lastly against TCU. Number 13, 2016. This team vastly improved from the year prior as they went from a winless squad to a 2-10 team. And their point per game total also went up. This team averaged 20.25 points per game. The most points that KU put up this season was a whopping 55 points against Rhode Island. The least amount of points KU put up was 3, and that was against Oklahoma. Number 12, 2021. Just like 2016, this team vastly improved from the year prior as they went from a winless team to a 2-10 squad. And their point per game total went up from the year prior as well. This team averaged 20.75 points per game. The most points KU put up this season was a whopping 57 points in an overtime win against Texas. The least amount of points this year would be 3, and that was against Oklahoma State. Number 11, 2011. This team's win total went down from the year prior as they went from a 3-9 squad to a 2-10 team. However, the points per game total actually went up. This team went on to average 22.42 points per game. The most points KU put up this season was an impressive 45 points against Northern Illinois. The least amount of points this year was a big fat goose egg, and that was against Texas. Number 10, 2005. Finally, a team above 500 in this list, as this team went 7-5 and won the Fort Worth Bowl. However, the point per game total went down from the year prior, as this team averaged 22.42 points a game. The most points KU put up this season was a solid 42 points in the Fort Worth Bowl against Houston. The least amount of points this year would be 3, and it happened twice. First against Kansas State, and the last one against Oklahoma. Number 9, 2019. This team didn't change much when it came to the win-loss column, as they had a 3-9 record just like the previous season. However, the points per game total went slightly down from the year prior, as this team averaged 23.5 points per game. The most points KU put up this year would be 48, and it happened twice. First against Boston College, and the last one against Texas. The least amount of points this year would be 6, and that happened against Baylor. Number 8, 2004. The earliest team on this list, and this team did what many people would be considered as an average year for KU, as the team went 4-7. Also, this team averaged somewhat decent numbers when it came to the point per game total, as they averaged 23.82 points a night. The most points KU put up this season was a whopping 63 points against Toledo. The least amount of points this year would be 7, and that was against Iowa State. Number 7, 2018. This team vastly improved from the year prior as they went from a 1-11 team all the way to a 3-9 team. Also, the point per game total increased as well, as this team averaged 23.83 points per game. The most points KU put up this season would be a solid 55 points in a blowout win against Rutgers. The least amount of points this year would be 3, and that was against Iowa State. Number 6, 2006. I really feel bad for this team because after they finished 7-5 the previous season, KU went 6-6 and did not make a bowl game. However, the good news is KU's point per game total actually went up from the previous year, as this team went on to average 29 points per game. The most points KU had this season was an impressive 49 points against Northwestern State. The least amount of points KU put up this year was only 13, and that was against South Florida. Number 5, 2009. This is the beginning of KU's downfall, as they went from an 8-5 Insight Bowl championship team to a 5-7 squad. Also, the point per game total went down as well, as this team averaged 29.42 points per game. The most points KU put up this year was a solid 49 points in the opener against Northern Colorado. The least amount of points this year would be 10, and that was against in-state rival Kansas State. Number 4, 2008. This team's win total went significantly down from the year prior, as this team went from a 12-1 Orange Bowl champion team to an 8-5 Insight Bowl champion team. Also, the point per game total went drastically down, as this team went on to average 33.38 points per game. The most points KU put up this year would be an impressive 52 points against their in-state rival Kansas State. The least amount of points this year would be 7, and that was against Texas. Number 3, 2023. This team vastly improved on the win total from the year prior, as they went from a 6-7 squad to a 9-4 guaranteed rate bowl championship team. However, the points per game went slightly down, as this team went on to average 34.77 points a night. The most points KU put up this year would be a solid 51 points against UCF. The least amount of points this year would be 13, and that was against Texas Tech. Number 2, 2022. Here comes the resurgence of Kansas football. After having a 2-10 season the year prior, this team went 6-7. And also, the points per game skyrocketed, as KU put up 35.62 points per game. The most points KU put up this year would be an impressive 56 points in the season opener against Tennessee Tech. The least amount of points KU put up would be 14, and it happened twice. First against Iowa State, and the last one against Texas. Number 1, 2007. Come on, this should be pretty obvious. The most historic season in KU history. After going 6-6 the year prior, this team went 12-1 and won the Orange Bowl that year. Also, the points per game total skyrocketed, as KU averaged a whopping 42.77 points per contest. The most points KU had this season was an ungodly 76 points against Nebraska. The least amount of points KU had this season was only 19 points, and that happened twice. First against Colorado, and the last one against Texas A&M. And that's going to do it for my rankings video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and push that notification bell, and tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again when the next one comes out. But until then, have a good day. Never bring exotic dancers to the field house, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.